going to be here for that. City of Washington Parks and Recreation Commission, roll call.
I'll say John Freitag.
Here.
Is that how you say it, or is it
Freitag.
Freitag? Okay.
Yep.
Bob Zurich,
Present.
Bob Kleppel.
Here.
Kevin Creedy,
Here.
Tessie Steffens,
Here.
Sparky Stuckenschneider,
Here.
Jeannie Miller Wood,
Here.
Dave Waymeyer,
Here.
Betty Werner,
Here.
Gavin Woolley,
Here.
Al Bear,
Here.
Jeff Packey.
100%. Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need an approval of the minutes from our June 14th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion.
Second.
I've got a
Motion.
question on the minutes.
Oh,
Was Dan Cassett a member of the park board in order to be absent at the last meeting?
Yes.
Okay,
His term expired June 30th.
okay, I just wondered.
okay. All right, we have a motion by Betty, seconded by Bob D. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's see, Parks and Recreation, your director report, Wayne?
Yes, so I wanted to welcome John. Thanks for coming. Sorry we missed the name on the agenda here.
I'm just glad everybody showed up today.
Welcome.
This is unusual.
Yes.
Especially in the
Number
summer.
2 on my agenda.
Oh, this must be the one I printed. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he's on there.
He's official.
Oh, good.
He's official.
All right. So I take that back. And then in your packet, at your seat there, most of you have seen this Parks and Rec Commission handbook in the past, except we did a lot of updates to it, added more information, stuff like that. And since we had a new member come on tonight, I figured this would be a good time to give it to you. You guys, if you have any questions, you can look through it later, ask me, but it should be a lot of stuff that you guys already know and do, so. It's really a working document for when we have new people come on board and stuff, so. It does have a lot of the committees and boards and stuff that I work with or deal with, or at least listed in there, who they are, just for your guys' information.
But
Okay.
it's really nice.
I couldn't remember when.
It's okay.
We issued it. I think it was
I
right.
still came back.
I think it was maybe after COVID or during COVID. We did the first draft. This is the second draft. And not the final draft either. There's still
It's
some.
a lot of good
but
information.
Yeah. There's still some information I want to put in there, but
There's only 2 corrections, and that would be Gavin and I's date.
3. Bob.
oh, we
Oh,
didn't.
and
You
Bob.
guys just
Yeah.
renewed again. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Good call.
Bob's is wrong too.
Sorry, Bob. We'll get that fixed, too.
That makes 2 corrections, you and I teamed together.
Yeah, because those just happened. So. The intern and I have been working on this, and then Casey did some minor tweaking today, so. Good. Yeah, you guys can look at that. If you find any more errors, let me know so I can fix them for the future. So a while ago, or shortly before this meeting, I sent out an email. On Monday at the city council meeting, the mayor will read a proclamation for Parks and Rec Month, so I'd love to have any of you join me and the mayor and whoever else shows up to hear that proclamation and receive it and probably get a picture by the paper or whatever. So I know in the past, I think Sparky and Tessie have been there, so.
Yep.
If you're bored at 7 o'clock on Monday night, stop on by. We'd love to have you. So into kind of the meat of my report, fair work or fair prep has started, well underway there. We have some nice grass growing at the new pavilion, so it looks really nice.
Looks very, very nice. Good job by everybody.
We had a little drainage problem there that they corrected today, and I actually drove a truck home last night and picked up a pallet of sod in House Springs this morning on my way in, and they put that down where that drainage spot was. Where when you walk from the amphitheater onto the pavilion, that walkway was holding water there, so we installed a drain, and then they sodded around it today, so should be good there, hopefully. We also been between the fair work, and last week, we spent all week cleaning up storm damage from the storms that happened, I guess, the Friday, Saturday before. It was a lot more damage and time spent on that than I anticipated. So that's kind of pushed us behind the 8 ball on a lot of these other projects that we're wanting to do here before the fair. We had a number of trees, a very large one that fell along Bush Creek Greenway, fell into the creek and over the trail and over a trail sign. And that's only half the tree. Half of it's still standing and leaning towards a house, so we're gonna have to have it removed here shortly, this week, I think. And then we just had a lot of other trees and limbs down throughout the park system. But we're finally past that, and like I said, getting ready for the fair. And then next week on July 20th, 21st, the American in Bloom advisors will be here, so Thursday, Friday. And so staff and I and the Washington Bloom Committee will be taking them around town, showing them all the great sites that, the good thing is they were both here last year, so they've seen a lot of it already, so they'll get to see sites that they didn't see last year. So, we are also doing a little wrap-up work at Phoenix Park. When we put the playground in last year, there was just a little dirt work, and there was a concrete pad that needed to be poured by the park bench, by the new sign, where you enter the trail at there, just, I guess it'd be east of the playground. And then we have all that new landscaping that was put in to replace the weeds that we were getting complaints on by tennis courts, the first 2 tennis courts there where you pull in. So that, if you haven't been over there, that park looks, and I had a councilman tell me that the other day. It was about a year ago, I had some pictures on my phone. I took some pictures over there because we were getting complaints about the weeds up by courts 2 and 3. And if you compare, that park is like night and day difference between the playground, which was a little prior to that, but all the new landscaping, all the things we've been doing over there, that park has really turned out nice. It's really, really a gem, so check it out if you have time. I was going to talk about the shed, but I'll leave that up to you in a little bit. And then we're also down 1 position. We just had a young man leave here and went to another municipality in St. Louis in a maintenance worker position. So we are hiring, if you know of anyone, maintenance worker 1 position. Any questions?
No, thanks, Wayne. Communications from the audience, anybody?
That's you.
So, the WSA shed, so they come every month, give you an update, not really much to update.
Here, can you come? Because we record it, so they need to be able to hear you.
It's Mike Lapardis on behalf of WSA. Said he'd come every month, so not much to update this month. We did talk about flagging some trees to kind of re-review that. We got commits for pretty much all of the work, what's going to get volunteered or donated, and put a budget together for WSA, so kind of waiting for final approval before we really do any work on that. So right at the minute, a little bit of holding pattern, and do have dirt ready to come in about 2.5, 3 weeks. So I just need to get them to say yes, and we can take a look at those trees, and by this next meeting, we'll be pad ready. That's about it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Any
guys.
questions?
Let me know when you have the trees marked.
Yep.
No. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming in and giving
Yeah,
us an
giving us
update.
an
We
Yeah.
certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, you betcha. Cool.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Thanks.
Old business, Fair Pavilion and pickleball courts. You've already done that.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned last meeting, the lines will be painted on after the fair for the pickleball courts. Grass is coming in good. Steve Sellentrup's doing a very nice job of watering up there every day. He's very consistent. So that's good.
He's got a
Things are
little
looking
bit of
really nice.
investment there.
Yeah.
He,
I mean, he
you
told
don't
me, he
know,
goes,
he-
oh yeah, I'll be in charge of watering, and we kind of both wrote, Chad and I are like, yeah, after 2 weeks we'll be doing it. But he has, I mean, he's up there all the time, he's watering, he's doing a good job. And then, All Abilities Playground signs are in, we had them, or we have them, I should say, and they'll probably be installed this week. I just got them Friday, I think. And then then there was a little scare yesterday. JC's posted a mock-up of it online on Facebook. And I heard staff talking about this from my office, and I just saw it this morning or yesterday morning, one of the two. I saw the post from the JCs, and on the sign, it's a picture of the actual sign, and especially is misspelled. It's spelled EXP. And I was like, oh, I had just taken them out to the shop and put them on Chad's desk and told him to put them up. I was like, hey, don't put those up because there's a misspelling on it. Well, then he sent me a picture this morning. He goes, there's no misspelling on it. He goes, isn't this how you spell it? I was like, oh yeah, it is. So they must have had a old, before it was edited, that they put up. Because someone commented, they're like, especially, isn't there a spelling mistake? I was like, oh, we can't put that up. But I think they're fine, so we will get them up this week.
It's a good thing you asked about it.
Yeah.
Okay, new business.
So I have some
Grant?
good news to report on the RTP grant, so that stands for Recreational Trails Program grant through DNR. I was worried and actually thought we probably didn't make it this year, because last time I looked on their website, it said if you made it to the second round, you'd be contacted in May or June, and we're out of June now. But the other day, I did get a call from a lady from DNR, and she said they'd been out here, looked at the site already, and they want to meet with me and several other city staff members and just go over the numbers and the project and all that stuff. And so I think things are looking good there.
Just for his information, you want to explain to John what we're talking about?
I forget, yeah. So at Riverfront Park, we have the East Trail on one side and West Trail on the other side. And now that we have a tenant and waterworks there, so the trail, this connection would serve like dual purposes. It would allow the city to have access to the pump station, that gravel parking lot down there during high water events, where now they're pretty much shut off from it. And it would allow us, or the park system, to get people out of that waterworks parking lot from like riding or running through it during events, and people running or riding a bike by the waterworks building and having someone come out that door. Same thing with the restrooms too, I've seen, where if you actually have to drive on the path, you have to drive by the restrooms and someone pops out of there. That's pretty scary. So it kind of eliminates using that pathway for trail usage, and would reroute them around the Flag Plaza, in front of the pavilions, around the pavilions, and then back over towards the restroom, and then along the railroad tracks. And it would also allow us to install some family change room or family gender restrooms on the current restroom that would allow us to have them open year-round, because right now we don't have a bathroom down there in the wintertime. So, and it also it would also pave the parking lot, the waterworks parking lot, which is in poor shape, and allows us to do some ADA grading there to make that less of a grade when you come across Lafayette. There's kind of a hill there that goes up in front of the Flag Plaza. That would all be graded out, and it'll allow us to pave the parking lot too, so.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions on that from anybody? Okay with, number B, potential MDC community assistance.
So I just wanted to bring this up again. I mentioned this in the past. This is kind of moving along at a snail's pace, but it is finally moving forward. I've been working on this for at least 2 years. Wanted to do what they call a CAP agreement, and community assistance program is what it stands for. And we had this at the boat ramp down here on Lafayette years ago when it was first installed back in '89 or '90. it allows, at the lake, this would allow them to do fish monitoring, would allow them to test the fish, make sure we have the right fish in there. It will also, and I'm looking for more information on this to present to you. They couldn't get it to me quick enough. The man I'm dealing with, his boss is on vacation, and he's like really new into this position. So every time I have to ask a question, he has to ask someone else. But I'm pretty sure it should allow us, give us some help, DNR, or not DNR, MDC, if we have to do bank stabilization at the lake, or dredge it, or things like that, there's some assistance there. I think they can pull some dollars, whether it's grants and things like that, to help us with those projects in the future. But I want to get some more information on that to present to you guys. But it would be an agreement that, and we're nearing that point, that's why I keep bringing it up. Once they get this information back to me, I give it to you guys, then I'll need to take it to, I need to have Mark Piontek, the city attorney, look at it, and then I'll have you guys look at it, then it'll go to city council, and then the mayor will eventually sign off on it. So we're months away from that, especially the way this has been moving along. But I do think it would be a good thing. I think Union has a similar agreement over there at their lake. And so, any questions about that?
You mentioned siltration. Any idea of what the siltration situation is at Lions Lake? Because I don't recall it ever having been dredged.
I think it was because I had to turn in, to get to this point where we are in this paperwork process, administrative process, I had to turn in they wanted to know any improvements we've made to that lake, like ever, or that we had on file anyways. And Jerry, actually, I had a file down there. Jerry had pretty good notes. And so I was able to go back to improvements all the way back to like late 80s, I think. But one of those documents I sent was dredging, I think it was in 94 maybe? Really? Yeah, where they pumped it down and dug it out.
I know there was a lot of bank stabilization at that point in time.
Yeah. So there's 94, and then I think bank stabilization maybe again, or maybe, I'd have to look at the records for sure, but in 2010, there was bank stabilization.
Oh, okay.
Yes, in 2010, yeah.
The lake was very, very low, but I don't remember being dredged.
I think they had to pump it
They
down. to
dropped
do
the
that.
level way, way down in order to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne, when they put in that block wall, didn't we dredge a bunch of it by that bridge
Yes,
on the west side over there? I
Yes.
thought we had
Yes.
that dug out.
yes.
I think
Probably,
I think you're
I would
right.
assume so.
On that
I wasn't
end.
obviously here for that, but, I mean, it would make sense.
I think I remember that too,
I think
Bob.
so.
That was, that
Make that a
section
little
of the lake.
deeper up in there.
Yeah. Mhm.
That when they basically put that deck across there, so now basically you got two pools. It comes down and pools in that first little area and then
And then goes,
comes through. I think that's supposed to catch the silt.
yeah.
Well, that's when the new bridge was put in, the metal bridge instead of the wooden bridge.
Right,
That was 2010 too, right?
yeah,
I believe so.
I think that was all at the same time.
Yeah, it's about that time.
it
yeah.
was.
Remember that bridge being set there and built it in time?
Corner softball team put that wood bridge in.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else on the brick program?
So, at your seat there, you have a flyer, and this came out of the tree program, which, I gotta go down to Washington Monument and hash some things out with them on that rock situation for the trees, but I should have that done by next meeting. But when we met as a committee, the Memorial Tree Committee, someone brought up, I can't remember, was it Dave or Gavin?
John.
But, or John, about having a brick program, and a lot of cities have that in some shape or form, whether it's commemorative or memorial or whatever. And the suggestion or idea was to have it possibly at Krogh Memorial Park. And so we drew up some, this is just a flyer, I mean, it's a first draft of a flyer, kind of modeled it after our Angel of Hope program that we have. But why I have this on the agenda here is the location. So we have several memorials at Krogh Park. We have the Korean War Memorial there on the corner. We have the Veterans Memorial on the other corner. We have the we have Lucinda Owens's gravesite there. We have the memorial for all the burial sites that were in the cemetery there. There's the other memorial that's to the south of the Veterans. Vietnam Memorial there. I feel like I'm missing something else, but anyways, several memorials. Is it, I mean, I think off the top of my head, I think it's would be a good location for a brick program. What do you guys think? Initially I was thinking at the corner there, on Fifth Street where the Korean War Memorial is, there's already paver bricks there, a real nice section of them, nothing on them. But would it be strange, like, that's a war memorial, would this fit in there? Like if someone wants to buy a brick for their, I don't know, grandmother that died, is it gonna be strange that we put the brick in front of the Korean War Memorial, or?
Wayne, didn't we talk about doing a pathway to maybe connect the memorials instead of putting them at one
Yeah, we could
location?
do that
talked about
too.
maybe
There's a pathway.
Great idea.
There is a pathway that goes to the War Memorial at the corner of 47 and Fifth Street. We want to we'd like to redo that whole area. The aggregate is kind of old and was put in and the landscaping probably needs to be redone there sooner rather than later. We could also put in, I didn't bring it, it would be a long pathway though, down a hill, gradual hill. There's no walkway to Lucinda Owens's memorial, which is, it's kind of in the middle of the park, so it'd be a long gradual pathway. Whereas this one at the Veterans Memorial would be a much shorter pathway. My only thing is I'd hate to, this could be something we could do this winter, put in this pathway or whatever we're gonna do. But I would hate to spend a bunch of, I was hoping we could fill in start with a smaller spot like the Korean Memorial or the walkway to the Veterans Memorial. That walkway to Lucinda Owens it would be really long. I would just hate to put in something really big and massive and then not sell any bricks or have enough bricks to fulfill it for a long
When
time.
we originally talked about this, that the path here at these memorials was gonna be geared a little bit more towards veterans and, people who had served. And then when we had our meetings about the trail connection downtown, we had talked about having a separate brick path down there where we would have bricks where people maybe who walk their dogs down there or, people who enjoyed the riverfront trail, that we were going to have memorial bricks at the riverfront. So am I having a senior?
Well, that's a loaded question right there, are you?
All right,
But,
All right, no.
I don't remember, but I did miss the meeting. I don't remember that. I personally, I don't think in front of the actual memorial is appropriate. And I like that idea. Maybe we have two places. Maybe because I do think probably once it catches on, even though that pathway to Lucinda Owens might be long, you're building it for the future. It gets, you know what I mean? I'm not a designer, I don't know how you do it, but I think over a period of years, then that would begin to fill, because it's an affordable memorial that people can do. So personally, I like that idea, and then if you want to tie it in and do another one down at the river, I like that idea too.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Brian.
I'm sorry, thinking about being a veteran and being with both of the posts and that, and of course you got the Vietnam, display there on the corner, and you have the Korean the other way. But I don't know if you guys thought about it, but you got a lot of veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan, Kuwait. There will probably be somewhere in the middle between these two memorials where somebody's going to come up with an idea for that. Because we're getting a lot of new applications on some of these
Okay.
things. Okay.
Have we thought about Phoenix Park to do non-veterans
That's what I'm thinking. This memorial you're talking about with these blocks are just not for veterans, it's for everybody, right?
Yeah, this would be for, anyone,
Yeah, they are for everybody.
And therefore, I don't think it's appropriate to put it right in front of the Korean War
No.
Memorial. Because it looks like that person was a Korean War
Right,
veteran.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
They raised a lot of money for that memorial.
Is there anywhere in our,
That was a big, big deal, so I
Is-
think that should stay for veterans.
And we named,
is there anywhere at our main park,
I wanted to.
around Lions Lake, anywhere? Because that's the main park that we have.
I wanted to make this
More people there than any place else.
point real quick so we named it I can't say it, commemorative. So it can be for anything, like a death, a
Right.
marriage, whatever. Because there are some places that have just memorial bricks, and that's kind of what Angel of Hope is, type of thing, too. So, I'm sorry, Sparky, what was your question?
But my question was, since, the Lions Lake area is probably more people there than any other part of the park, is that correct?
That and Riverfront, they're probably, those are the two
Riverfront's pretty popular.
main hubs.
And just so we're very clear, that the Angel of Hope is specifically for children,
Yes.
Right.
for the parents whose children have died.
Yeah.
When you put the
Yeah,
new section in from west to east trail, why don't we put the outline of it and, they're gonna have a concrete trail and you'll have a brick outline in it. You can
I wonder,
tell these as you go.
I was thinking about this today, I wonder if there's a spot at the Flag Plaza, like,
Where?
That's what I was gonna think, redo that area around the flagpole.
I mean, it's old, and sooner or later, it needs a little sprucing up.
That would accommodate everybody,
Well,
And it's kind of cool, because it's up high, and,
I just think whether, like I said,
Flagpole down the riverfront.
you know,
you're
Crow,
not a veteran, but you're still, hey, I love the Washington Parks and I wanna put a paper in, you're gonna do that at the riverfront instead of further memorial.
let's go back though and think about the program at Crow, which was originally a cemetery. It had nothing to do, with veterans or wars or anything else. And if we feel like it is intrusive on veterans and honoring them to have it by either or any of the memorials, go ahead and do it down to the Lucinda Owens,
Yeah.
founder of Washington.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I know
what I
it's,
think.
it's a bigger bite to take, but, it addresses, kind of what we need done.
Yep, that's what
But the other thing is that we did this because we were running out of benches and places to put benches, and primarily on the Riverfront Trail. And so I kind of agree with everybody else.
well, I guess,
Other people,
I
the
gotta-
Riverfront.
I'll correct you on that, or disagree with you, not correct you, sorry, Sparky. But
You can do either one.
This being is cost, not
Yeah.
location.
I understand that.
it gives people a third choice. The benches are what they are, they're expensive, because
And there's still an option if they're willing to pay.
And trees are $500, and so they're less expensive. And then this would be $125, so that you got your like three-tier program, I guess, kind of.
And I think families, when they come to visit Washington,
They would go.
they would go downtown as, and I like the Lucinda Owens, but it needs to be a path, I think. It needs to be a path, because if you're out at the Angel of Hope, you see where the first row, and, we're up to like 325 bricks now, but we'll probably, for sure, never in my lifetime, maybe not my kids either, but we'll never fill that whole area in.
Yeah.
So I think a path, to Lucinda Owens would, keep it narrower so that, you have the ability to see the people who are there.
There's nothing, it's not like we couldn't give them two options. If you decide you want to do something down by the riverfront, that's one option. If you decide you want to do the path that's in our memorial part of the park that leads up, you don't have to limit it just to one little area. If we've got two possibilities, I think that's a good idea, because some people would be like, oh, my dad used to walk the trail all the time, I want it down there. Oh, my mom used to do this, I'd like it to be going up to Lucinda Owens. You're just giving the public an option.
But you gotta have it ready for bridge.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
That's the only problem.
But yeah, so you make a path to Lucinda Owens and it doesn't have a brick in it in the beginning, that's not so bad. Because people would walk that path, that is the founder of Washington. They put those monuments there, it's kind of a cool little area, and maybe we need to highlight it a little bit more. Because I asked Wayne this before, you're gonna get 10 bricks, and you're gonna have to start putting them in somewhere. So you're not gonna wait until you get 500 bricks, you just start it. And it grows just like the path would grow, or it grows just like wherever you're gonna do it down on the riverfront. It's an option, it's a viable, affordable option for people that wanna do it. So it doesn't have to be just in one spot.
Let me ask you this, as far as doing a path, is it feasible to go ahead and pave the entire path with brick, blank brick, and then as people buy brick,
You take one.
take a blank brick out and replace it with a dedication brick?
But that's-
yeah, that's what I was,
That's,
yeah, that's how you.
Yeah.
yeah.
That keeps on growing.
The nice thing about Krog, though, it's kind of a private park, too. A lot of times,
is.
if you want to,
It's quiet. It's
yeah,
passive,
remember your loved
quiet,
one. I think
respected.
Krog might be a little bit better option. Especially just going to Lucinda Owens there. I mean, it's right in town, it's easy to get to and everything.
Well,
I kind of like what Jeff was saying is to be a border on a current path or a path that we make. Then you don't have to worry about building something now or getting a bunch of bricks to do the path. Build the path and make the bricks be a border as you get them.
I can see somewhere in the near future, as what happened in the Missouri magazine that you were mentioned, the Parks Department mentioned, I can see somewhere down the road in terms of tourism, somebody making publications of certain communities, and Washington would be a highlight of it. And in there, this would be certain areas to see, and you'd have Lucinda Owens thing. People are gonna frequent those particular areas, not just the wineries. You know.
I think what we may be missing though, and I think Wayne has alluded to this, in order to set this up, it almost has, it's just like the Angel of Hope place. The bricks are there that are plain, because it's
Absolutely.
ordered, it's there, it's a patio, it's a plaza, whatever you wanna call it, and then as you add names, you take a brick out, you add a brick with a name in it.
Yep.
So to start it at Lucinda Owens and we have 10 bricks, and then next year we can add to that, is not realistic. That has to be bordered, whether it's with concrete or bordered with bricks, and then the interior is put in.
Yeah.
Right, Wayne? And
Right,
that's-
yeah, it'll be like a project, like
Right, the whole thing would have to be done, and then. you
it'll
can
have
add
like the
things.
plastic borders or whatever borders to keep the bricks in, and we'll put on all blank pavers. So it'd be just like your paver patio at home, except it'd be a walkway. And then as we sell the bricks, and you go in and take blank bricks out and put stamped bricks in.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, I mean, it'll involve grading and, getting.
Wouldn't
all
that be the
level.
same thing if you're doing the edging down at the riverfront? If you're doing the path, you still have to
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
plan it and do
would
the
all
brick.
be edged already with
Right,
brick,
right.
And then you can add names to it as you go, if that's.
Right, but I mean, the planning has got to be in both areas, or however
Yeah.
you do it, yeah.
And you have to have a certain amount of bricks before you're gonna have these engraved or stamped, because it's economically, it's not feasible to do one or two at a time, so
You gotta do 10 or 20 at a time. in order
at
to
a
make it
minimum probably of 10, yeah, okay.
And we would need to let them know that, once we get it up, that we need X number and then it'll be placed.
Yeah.
Because some people say, well, I bought it, why aren't you putting it in right away? So,
But Angel of Hope is done once a year, isn't it?
Once a year.
Yep.
Right.
They
Yep.
know when they buy their brick that it won't be ordered until September 1st.
yeah.
Right.
So it'd be the same kind of thing, the
Right,
same premise
right.
for this. I
Yeah,
would think.
maybe what I can do for next meeting is take some pictures and then, both place somewhere down at the riverfront and then, different spots at, Krog, and I can flash them up on the screen and we can look at them that way. Unless you guys, in between now and then, just want to go out and walk through the parks and see what you guys can find out. And we don't have to start it today or anything like that, but,
But I'd also like to suggest maybe all of us talk to people and see where
Yeah,
they would like
maybe
to
do a
have,
survey, yeah.
you know, and kind of find out from friends and family members where they'd like to have it, if it's,
If
you know,
they so
Prague or downtown.
Well, and like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be just in one spot, does it?
No, but
That prep center.
It'll be more convenient.
it'd be helpful if it
We're gonna
was.
have 5 in one spot and 5 in another, rather than a congregation of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we could always have a second, if it sells really well.
You could always do a
We can
second.
always have a second spot somewhere else, you know, in the future.
Okay.
I just would hate to have two of them going at once and,
Right.
because it's like two separate projects.
Well, the reality is, we're coming up on budget time, and we don't have a project to put a brick walkway in Krog Park right now, so it's something we need to be thinking about, you know,
Yeah.
if we've got some grant money coming to help us out down at the riverfront, maybe that's the kickstart that's first. I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
unless you had this in your hip pocket as something to throw into the budget already, we're talking about, the bricks do cost something even when they're not engraved, and, you know, there's a cost associated there, so.
That's a good point. Flag plaza downtown, I mean, I said line of sidewalk, and I'm not saying that has to be what happens, but if there's a way to incorporate around the flag plaza down there, well, I think that's a great idea too.
Yeah, if you're already gonna start
If we're gonna
doing
be
that.
constructing there,
Yeah.
you gotta include it in something else, otherwise it's another budget item.
You got bricks to recycle from behind
Well,
the
it is right now.
depot?
As they get older. I mean,
Yeah, we will, yeah. That's a good point,
it's a
yeah.
very peaceful park. That's right. It's kind of like.
Okay, any more comments, questions?
Yeah.
I don't know, walking your dog.
So we're going to put it again on the agenda again next week, and you'd like the park board members to kind of visit these areas and look at them, and then you will bring some pictures in also.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. Number D, intern program at the pool.
Yes, so the intern, he's on vacation this week, otherwise he'd probably be here. But I just thought I'd throw him a bone here. As part of his internship, like I said last month, it's not required for his schooling. He's just doing this to kind of get a feel for things. But generally, during internship programs, you're required to do a program or some kind of project of some kind. And so he's doing a program at the pool. It was included with your packet, the Pool Olympics. And it's going to be catered to anyone at the pool that day, in addition to Camp Washington kids. And so if you got some time, if you're not working or whatever, I really wanted you guys just to see some of the work that he's doing.
Cool.
He is doing a very good job. Speaking of Angel of Hope, he, in a matter of a half a day, plotted out, I just mentioned it to him in passing. So I'd like to have all the bricks plotted out at Angel of Hope, like where each brick is, like a layout, so if
Beautiful.
Jane Doe comes to me and says, oh, I have a brick up there, but I have no idea where it is, or someone bought one for me and I have no idea where it is, we can point exactly to where it is. And he did all that. He went up there, took some pictures, came back, put it on the computer, and
Beautiful.
we have it all. I think there's 300,
Yeah,
remember what it was?
325, 350.
300-something bricks
Yeah.
up there, yeah.
What's his name? I'd like to write him a thank you note.
Logan Williams.
Thank you.
So, yeah, he was here last week. He'll probably be here maybe next month, so. He's here, he's with us till August 11th, I think, so.
This Pool Olympics is really cool.
Fun idea.
When I was young, we had like family night at the pool, and you did stuff kind of similar to this. And then there were like another night where you were teamed up with a certain lifeguard, you swam in inner tubes, jumped off the high dive, they threw dodgeballs at you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad to bring this back.
Yeah.
Show up that
This,
day.
can I take part?
Does that mean- You could be a judge, they need judges, so, yeah.
Junior, you're going to be a participant, aren't you?
Yeah, she wants to participate.
I don't see it.
I know I
want a
looked at,
senior.
I reviewed the whole thing,
Yeah, tell them to think about senior Olympics.
Yeah, we'll do senior.
We'll break a hip.
Yeah, really, no problem.
Watch this.
I was
Very
at the
good.
pool yesterday, and I think the lifeguards are doing a great job.
good. Things have been going very well there as far as staffing goes. In fact, I don't know if I told you guys this last month or not, but now that this year, since they raised the pay, they had too many applications. They had more applications they needed, and they said that hasn't happened in probably 10 years at least.
Wow.
So it was good.
Good.
We've had a lot of quirky things happen at the pool this year, but none with really staffing or anything like that, so that's good. Speaking of the pool, at your seat, it wasn't with the packet, but you can see the pool numbers and where we are as of July 6th. So it's been a busy year at the pool. It helps when it's been dry and warm, especially opening weekends, so take a look at that. If you have any questions, let me know. But overall, things are going well, staffing's going well. Kids are eating the concession stand out of all kinds of food every week.
Good.
Robin has a hard time keeping up with the demand, so.
It's pretty good.
Any questions?
Okay, Wayne, I know at, next to Rumsey Field, we had tree damage, one was taken down.
Oh, yeah,
And then last night when I was out there, the other one next to the road got taken down.
yeah.
So was that just, was
The one by the road, when you say by the road, by the sign, the park
Yes.
sign? Yeah, if you look at it, the stump that's left there, it was diseased, it's like all full of holes and stuff like that. When we put that sign in a couple of years ago, Josh was kind of trying to talk me out of putting it there, because those two trees, those maple trees on each side, the one that's there is okay, but it's not in the best of health either. He was worried about it, and he's like, boy, I'd hate for the tree to fall on that new sign. And so this one got to the point, it had some damage, and it's obviously, it's diseased too,
Some fell
so,
on it on the
yeah.
windstorm, no doubt, but I think now, more than ever, we gotta look into the sunshade thing there on that side. Because like, last night I was out there, now there is absolutely.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Zero
I know what you're
shade
talking
there,
about,
so
yeah.
you're watching. So, we talked about that shade thing before.
Yeah.
We were gonna get a price on those couple posts or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And see how big a one we can put there now, like I said, with that, both of those trees being gone, you have, it's, right now, I'll go there and sit, it's, it's worse now with no shade. We took out two great big trees right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked into a little bit of that, I gotta get some pricing, the intern helped me look for some, like, examples, but
Right.
we didn't get any pricing yet.
And this is minor, but this is not Kent either. Another of the freshman coaches asked, can we get small signs inside the dugouts that say no seeds, no gum, no metal
Ugh.
spikes?
Well,
Inside-
yes. It's funny you should bring that up. I have signs, they're in production right now, but they don't say anything about gum, but they say no seeds allowed in this facility,
Okay.
like this big, that are coming.
It's on the sign going to the gate, that's like one line in there.
So I think I ordered 4 of them, like 2 for each dugout, but it just talks about sunflower seeds,
Gotcha.
no gum.
That would be a start, it's just, we get more and more fortunate to have districts there tonight, and zone there this weekend, and zone next weekend, So we got a lot out of town, and new teams we never have, and just in order to keep that turf the best we can, it's the seeds, the gum, and the
Yeah,
metal
it's-
spikes are the biggest things in the world to put.
I didn't think about the gum or the spikes, but I knew the seeds, because you have new teams come in, they're not familiar, and
So, and maybe we could put seeds, gum, and spikes inside the dugout, and these other ones even on the outside or on the fence, because it's, you don't want people to stand and spit the seeds on the thing either,
no, yeah.
for that matter. Otherwise, it's vacuuming them up and all you. So just,
Yeah. I'm supposed to have those signs next week, they told me, so.
I will just say this, I know we clapped at the beginning, but it is very, very nice to see everybody here. It is-
Impressive.
Oh, yeah.
It is, it shows that you guys all care, as sitting on boards that normally have a tough time getting a quorum, or even planning and zoning where people are missing and all that, so you guys, not that my opinion matters, but I'm telling you, thank you from my standpoint, that what you say and do matters
Thank you.
to council, so thank you.
So does that mean you're buying a round?
Yes, I'll buy a round, go to round, take the game already started, we're winning 2-0.
That's worth clapping for.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff, that was nice. To acknowledge it, appreciate that. Any other questions, comments, anything? Okay, adjournment?
I make a motion.
We have a motion by Gavin and second by Bob Kay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nobody's opposed.
That's right.
Okay,
I'll buy it.
that's what I thought.
Yep, sounds good, thanks.
Hey, Mike.
Would help if
Oh,
we,
wonderful.
if